everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I do a green floral arrangement on this glass bottle. It's a clear glass bottle, as you can see. I am going to be using a number 4 Deerfoot stippler and then 2 of the Amagic flat brushes, a number 4 and a number 6. Alright, paint I'm using is all FolkArt paint. I'm using Thicket, Wicker White, Forest Moss, Real Brown, and Classic Green. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on this. And I do apologize, my furnace is running in the background. Hopefully it'll shut off here shortly. Not sure, because I'm waiting to get a new video camera, because mine kind of went out yesterday. So I'm not sure how much I can get on this because of the way I'm shooting it. But I'm going to be using the Classic Green and the Wicker White for my design. And I'm going to be doing a lot of wiggling, so I'm hoping this works out okay, primarily because a lot of times when you do some of this wiggling, it pulls the paint up. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, and I'm going to do my best to stay on camera. This is the furthest back I can get it. So I'm hoping that it works. Alright, and I am a lefty, so keep that in mind. You might have to do your design going in a different direction than mine. And let me show you what I mean here. I'm going to start here at the top and do just a basic just kind of it's not going to be open, it's just going to be a basic partially open flower. And this is what I'm talking about here, is when I do my little wavy kind of strokes that it could possibly pull up the paint. And I'm not going to be able to keep showing you how I'm loading my brush. I apologize for that. But I'm going to go ahead and keep going then with the bigger. And again, I'm trying to go like this. When you do it on paper, it actually works really well. But I'm going from right to left. You might have to start the opposite direction if you're right-handed. That's what I mean by you might have to do it a different direction than what I'm doing. So hopefully you understand. And it may be a little difficult for you to learn from me. I don't know. Hopefully not. Now, I have cleaned this bottle off just to kind of go back over a little bit of what I've done already for preparation. Clean the bottle, went over it with rubbing alcohol. And that's something I recommend just to try to get off any kind of oils or debris that's left over, so that your paint adheres as best as it can to the glass. Now when I say this, it's not that it's going to come off real easy, but you don't want it to scratch or pull up. You know, the best that you can. You want to have it be something that's around for a while. Now on a bottle like this, you probably don't have to worry about it so much. But if you're doing, let's say you're doing a wine glass or something to that effect, that's something that you might need to be really concerned about. The amount of paint that you're putting on, that you're giving it a thick coat of paint, and that will definitely add durability if you're doing that. If it's just a real thin coat, it's going to scratch easily. Baking helps make it a little bit stronger, but you don't have to bake this paint. It does cure within 21 days if you just let it air dry. Now I'm going to tell you right now, that doesn't mean that you cannot use it or touch it, because you can. That just means that it's just not fully cured. I wouldn't put it in a dishwasher. Anything that you have hand painted, I would highly recommend just softly washing it and drying it, not using any harsh chemicals or any harsh pads of any sort that are real rough, because that will, you know, give your item a risk of possibly scratching the paint. If you handle it like fine china, guess what? It's going to be around for a while. If you put it in the dishwasher, make sure you just put it in on the top rack. You don't want your design to come off. If you put it in the bottom, it will possibly come out with some of the paint missing. And I'm just forewarning you, you work really hard on your projects and you do not want them to come off like that. So definitely top rack. If you by some chance have a dishwasher that is more of a commercial grade, then I would say hand wash for sure, because the commercial grades, typically those are dishwashers that will be very, very hot, hotter than normal. And then that just melts the paint off. Now, I do like to coat mine once I'm finished. I like to coat them with the Mod Podge that's dishwasher safe. And I do just, you know, try to coat. On the bottles, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I try to coat just the design on my glasses, just so that you don't see the, you know, the streaks of the product on your glass. But it's so faint, it won't bother the design at all, really. Okay, there we go. So these are going to be an open and then two partials right next to each other. On this one, I'm going to come down here, add another layer. Okay, and just do the same thing, you know, just lightly up and down. You know, one thing that helps with this project is that I'm using white. The white is the most, I think, most pigmented. It's actually very, you know, thicker. Some of the paints, like the reds, are very thin. And they're very easy to, or I should say they're actually difficult to paint with, but they're very easy to scratch because they're thinner. The paint is thinner. Doesn't cover as well. At least that's what I find. Now, if you base coat your bottles with a color, you know, a lot of times I'll do that. That kind of helps too, but you know, that's up to you. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is take my stippler, because I am not actually finished with this one up here, but I'm going to dip the front part, which is I call it the front part, the tip of it, and then the heel of it back here. I'm going to do the front of it in my real brown. I load it and then I pounce it on my palette, and the back end of it is going to have the wicker white. So what I'm going to do on here is just go through. Now, because the center is wet still, it's going to pick up that color, obviously. So that's not, I can't avoid that, honestly, because it's wet on wet. But what I was going to say is that if you want to give it some dry time, you certainly can, and then come back and paint on it. Or you can use a heat gun, hair dryer, and I just want it to be really kind of fun center. I don't want it to be my normal, and it's just going to be browns with the white in it. There you go. Now I'm going to come over here and do the centers over here. And I'm going to Again, just tap, and I'm going to do it like this and just come around. And come back in with my brown. Just kind of swing it around a little bit. Trying to get more of that brown on here. I want it to be a little thicker because of the way I'm doing it. And I'm going to come over here and do this one a little bit thicker too. And just keep working it. And go ahead and add some white to the back end of it. Just put it over here like this. And then do the same over here. And I'm going to come in here, just pounce some more of this. Like I said, if you don't want the green to come through, which it really didn't do too bad on these, amazingly. You know, hit it with a heat gun, a hair dryer. I want more white in here, just like I did around this one. And then I'll come back in with some brown again. I almost stuck my finger in that, didn't I? And I want it to be like this. Now, you can even do some dotting over this, which originally I was going to do, and I didn't on my sample, because I was going to do something totally different, but I didn't like what I was doing. So again, coming over here, adding some more white into this. And then I'm going to come in here, add a center to this one too. Make it a little bit bigger so I can see it, because I'm going to paint over it a little bit. It's going to be kind of hidden in here between the petals. And again, I want it to be a fun just kind of doing my little thing here. And like I said, if you don't like this type of center, by all means do. If you want something that's actually more, not so loose, I guess I should say, then by all means do it. Do what makes you happy. Alright, so now I am going to come over here and start to paint over this. Now I just painted it, so it's very likely I'm going to come up with some brown paint, but that's okay. Guys, that's okay. It doesn't bother me a bit. But I'm just doing another layer of leaf underneath that, or petal, not a leaf. I always call it that for some reason. And we are set to go on that. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is come up with my little brush, my number 4. I'm going to load it with the forest moss and the thicket. I'm going to put a little bit of white in it, and then just kind of blend it together. And I'm sorry that I'm not showing you this. Like I said, I promise I'm getting a new video camera, and we'll be back in business here in the next day or so. And again, this is just a basic. If you don't want to do it this way, then don't. All up to you. And I'm going to this. And it's just quick little pulls, and I'm sorry, I just hit the camera. I like to just mix a lot of colors into my stems and such when I'm doing them. Just kind of the way I do it. And I'm going to turn my bottle, come up here and do the same thing. And you can have your brush headed in any direction that you want. I kind of flip them around because I want different colors intermixed. And that's what you're seeing me do when I keep going over it. Again, the purpose of this is just to try to get it to be a little bit thicker because I don't want it to be too thin. And then I am going to start adding in some flowers, or not flowers, excuse me, leaves. My husband's being so loud upstairs. I apologize if you're hearing him at all. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to come like this, pull my little leaves out, and let's go. I'm going to turn it this way. It's one thing nice about doing painting like this, where you can actually turn directions, where a wall is stationary, where you have to just do it, you know, the direction that the wall is going, or whatever, you know. Okay. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Hopefully you're on here. My camera stopped. Guys, I can't wait to get my new video camera. Sorry. Alright, so then I'm going to come over here and do some of my regular wiggle leaves. My favorites. Again, there's such a variety of leaves that you can paint. If you have a favorite, by all means, just throw that in there. You do not have to paint what I'm doing, obviously. You can think outside the box and do what you feel happy with. Just want you to be creative. So I do want to mention, and I try to mention this on all my videos, that the purpose of my channel is to encourage people to be creative. Pure and simple. I hear a lot of people say, you know, I'm not creative. I just can't do it. Well, yeah, you can. You know, don't do that to yourself. You can be creative. You know, thing of it is if you like it, if you're happy with it, that's all that matters. Really. I mean, we're not judging you here. I'm not going to judge you here. I mean, that's just something where I know if you're going to art school, but we're not in art school. You know, maybe they'd be really picky about how you're doing something. Even then, I'm not too sure I totally agree with that. But again, we're not in art school. We're just doing fun, crafty things and being creative, right? And pulling it there. Alright, I'm just going to do a little stem. Now, if you could have room and you can do it like they're connected together, that's fine. If you can't, that's fine too. And then I just want to finish off with doing, I'm trying not to roll this on here, but I think I'm going to do it this direction actually, because I'm so afraid I'm going to, can you see that? I don't even think you can see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. I really feel lost without my video camera. Now I've got it down too far. Okay, so I'm just right now just doing some really easy leaves that are just coming off the flower. And I'm just going to do like that, and it's maybe do some little wiggly. Now these are kind of thin, so if anything's going to scratch or come off, those would. So if you want to leave them off, you can do that as well. But I just needed to warn you that, I'm going to do them down here, I think, that would be prime one to actually scrape off, if it's going to at all. I guess when you're doing a bottle or something that's just a home decor piece, not as big of a deal as opposed to you being, you know, doing like a drinking glass of some sort that's going to be, you're going to drink from it often, and you're going to, you know, have to be worried about cleaning it and that type of thing. All right. Once again, I do apologize for my video not my normal with my regular video recorder. I hope you like this. If you do, give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Before you leave, if you would share this video on your social network with all your family and friends, I would certainly appreciate it. Just hit that share button underneath the video and it'll give you the options of where you can share it. Just as simple as that. Anyways, I do appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much, and until the next time, you stay safe and healthy and have a good one.